Hey guys, still the 1st of December, and we had the trouble with the drainage, and then what happened was, after we ran the water again, it backed up into the bathroom again, so the guys come back out. So what they did was they dug a really big, they had to dig a bunch out, reroute the pipes the way they had. The problem now was the septic tank was full. That's why we were getting water. It was the backwash from there. The second part of the tank is completely full, so they think that the drain from there is also plugged. So they're gonna hammer that up. He put some beautiful clean outs. He's gonna leave a manhole by the front of the house there in case they have to get in there again. And he's going to bypass, the drainage straight out to the sewer that's in the ground, on the street. That's just all that is basically water, bath water, and then it'll just be the commodes going into the tank. So we'll have to. Hi puppy, hi puppy, hi buddy, hi baby. Oh, nice puppy dog. He wants petted. But that's where we're at with that. I like the idea they're going to leave a manhole there, and they got these clean outs, which is really good. The pipe, I did see the pipe on there. It actually was the T that they put into the drain was coming from the sink. It's actually a 4-inch pipe for looks like a 4-inch for the toilet bowl. So that's pretty good. And most of the other drains had bypassed, but that's the one we use the most. That one, and the sink ties into that one also. So that's where the bulk of our water goes. The upstairs shower when we have water. Now, yesterday they were filling the tank, and when we went by, we went out, the kids and I went for a big walk. It was spraying out the top again. So the dude turned it on and left. And then when I went for a walk late last night, water was still coming out the top. Now since then, it's off this morning. But all that wasted water. I wish the guy would do his job a little bit better than he's doing now. But keep talking to the people down at the water thing. Trying to get that picked up. I'm not the only one. I'm the only one on a vlog that's saying anything about this stuff. But the other neighbors aren't too happy about it either. They're not happy with this running out of water. Days of these guys when they're going to do concrete and they run out of water. We are going to fix it so that we catch rainwater. I will be putting a tank in. Because I know, I'm not in any super big hurry right now, but I know once the people start moving in, the water, it's going to get even worse. It's going to get worse. I wish somebody would have told me about it. If I'd have been here instead of this convid crap, if I'd have been here, I'd have found out about it and made provisions while they were building the house to get this done. Right now, there's a light, provision for a light on a switch right outside the kitchen window, kind of like behind the stove. And we're going to get the guy to run that down into the wall, into a piece of conduit, come up over by where our water is and put a plug there, and then it'll be on a switch, because I won't have to run the pump all the time. It's not necessary to run it all the time. So we can just turn that on when we need it. Because sometimes we do pretty good. When the tank is full, like it is now, this morning I got up first thing in the morning, and must have been about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and I had a really good shower. Plenty of hot water, plenty of water coming out. So I was pretty happy about that. As long as they keep the tank full, we're okay. But it's the way she goes. Now I did also, I said in the other video, I had this German guy who's a atomic razor blade specialist. He worked in that field, and no matter what I did to try to send that, to put it in like a link or anything, when you go to the share button, it just would not allow it. I couldn't do it. I even went over to the original video on Odyssey and tried to do it that way. It just won't allow me to get a link. So you'll have to go to the Telegram. I brought it all the way up to the front again because it only allows like 100 items to be shared, and I've got, I don't know, 350 on there now already. So I scrolled back pretty far and put it back on the front again, so it's on new everybody. I also in this link here on the description, I put the how to get to my Telegram, and also put the phone number I put in there. I had a SIM card. I threw it in the phone. It was a SIM card because we switched to Dito, so we're not using that number. It used to be just a little cheap phone I kept in the house for the kids to get, but now we have the PLDT, so it's a regular house phone if we need to call home for anything. And that, you can't call me on it, guys, because it's not in a phone right now. It's just a card we had laying around, but you have to be able to put the code in when you do that. I don't want to give out my phone number like that. So that's what that is. But that's a number that'll help you find me. We tried on the other phone. I put the card in the other phone, and I went to t.me/Rickshaw Philippines, and it wasn't showing up. And I was like, yeah, here we go again. Really stupid. Morning, Ignay. And so I'm thinking, boy, this is stupid. Well, I went ahead and did the +63. I think it's 949. I just wrote it down this morning. 451. 7930, something like that. It's in the description, but that found it. I went on the other phone. I went to the Telegram site that I put on that phone, and sure enough, it found the site that I'm on. And a lot of good news. I really appreciate you guys that are chiming in and sending me stuff. I just got a big thing from Wes. He's locked in. He can't get out. This morning I was going to be taking him to the airport. Done. And he's trying to find other ways out, but the prices are just too damn high for him, and they want to fly him into California. So he's not into that at all, because they're talking lockdowns there. So it's just not a really good thing that's happening right now. You're not just stuck coming in, guys. You guys who want to come here and retire, you're not stuck getting in. You're stuck getting out too. They're not letting you out. And in order to travel, they're going to make you get this dang thing. And that, to me, how come nobody's looking at this Nuremberg Code? That should be big. This is still a test thing. Now I just saw the Mr. Duterte got on there, and they're having conversations and making it mandatory here. And what are they going to do if you don't take it? So this is not good at all. How it's going here, but this is how it's going, guys. And it's not just here. It's worldwide, all the stuff they're doing. I really hate what's happening to the guys down in Australia, and Austria, and now they're doing it in other countries. England, they're getting a lot of countries now. They had this one thing they were talking about. Can't remember the name of the island, but it's like a British territory off of Spain, and they're at 100% of this Jabba the Hutt, and they are seeing the worst sicknesses they've ever seen. And just like my thumbnail I put on there, it actually, I couldn't get the whole thing on. I tried to size it so you could read the whole thing, but it was the Forrest Gump thing. Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Well, that's what that's all about. And it's the same with this Jabba. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get saline, or like that one nurse said that came out and said, they have them numbered 1, 2, and 3, and the different stuff in them. And a lot of this stuff is getting out, and I can't buy that it's all BS. For me, I still, from the beginning, I said anything like that should be a choice. You should not be forced into this, and I believe that's illegal. But the way they force you into it is they take away everything. They take away your freedom. They take away everything, and that's how they're going to get it. Now, I forgot to mention on the last video when I was talking to these tricycle driver guys. I had a whole bunch of them I was talking to, and they are shy of the camera. But just what I was talking to them, most of the guys, no, they don't want to get it. They don't need, not because they're afraid of it. They didn't know about a lot of the stuff. It's that they don't need it. They just don't need it. But when I ask them if the government mandates it, are you going to get it? And you know what? It was 100% again. Yeah. If we have to, yeah, we'll just go get it. So knowledge about what's going on, you know, they don't use the news media. You know, the news media here is going to toeing the line just like everywhere else. And you got Dr. Evil. That's who I call Fauci. Okay, that's Dr. Evil from now on. The other one, I'm going to call it Atomic Razor Blades. If you look at the last video, you'll know why. But this is some pretty weird stuff going on. Now we got a new guy that's supposed to take over. I forget what his name, the bearded guy. He stepped down as CEO of the big media platform, and the guy they put in, my goodness, I seen him doing a speech that said that you know, all whites are racist. You know, just boom. So he's a guy in the bag. So I'm thinking it's going to get a lot worse on that platform. You know, just crazy. Look up some of this stuff, what's happening, and you'll just be surprised. And I watched these. I just seen they were doing the stuff on Mark Dice did a thing on. Check it out. Check out Mark Dice. I should have put a link in there, but they did a thing on Brian Alka-Seltzer, and it was a pretty good one. I got a few chuckles because they had him saying "Let's go, Brandon," and he kind of picked and chose. And they had the memes. This was all about Seltzer saying, you know, the memes are destroying America and blah blah blah. Well, you know, I pick a lot of them out, like for the thumbnails and stuff, just to get your attention. I get a lot of folks like the thumbnails, and I find them. You know, I go through the phone. I used to get a lot more when I had the Facebook, but that's completely gone off the phones now. I do understand if you get one of them Huawei, I call it Highway, but they call it Huawei phones, that the Google's not even on there. I found that out from Wes. Now, who else is gathering your information? I don't know, but I would definitely, if I was going to get another phone, it would be a de-Google phone. I watch Rob Braxman. Take a look at his channel, and he's got a lot of good stuff on the Linux phones, and you know, that are de-Googled. I would definitely want a de-Googled phone if I was going to have a phone like that again, because it is nice to have the maps and stuff to find things. When we were going out the other day and we went to that resort, we got no maps on there. There was no maps. So, you know, I got rid of as much Google and shut as much stuff off as I could, except for, you know, YouTube. But I went ahead and we just screenshot the picture of it, and we were able to get to the place no problem. And then when you get around here too, when you're asking directions to a Filipino, if they start thinking immediately, just drive away, because they don't know. Best guys to ask for directions are tricycle drivers. You know, anytime you need a direction when you know you're getting close, hit those tricycle guys up. Most of them are pretty good sorts. I really don't like the way they drive, but they're good, honest people, most of them. And you know, I had a good conversation for my goodness, about a half an hour with a whole group of them in Lipa City yesterday. And you know, some of them were coming and going because they were picking up fares and leaving, but it was a really good group, and I kind of enjoyed our chat we had. But I didn't take the phone. I hardly ever take the phone out of the house. If we do go out, we usually take my wife's phone. I don't take mine. I got my little dumb phone. It's just so I can text my wife. But most of the time, if I text her for something, her phone's not right near her all the time, or it's in her purse and she can't hear it. So I think I'm batting 99% of when, even when I try to call her, I can't get her. It's just either that or I don't know. It's not good. So phones for us suck. I have to start calling the house phone because that rings real loud. But the bad thing about the house phone is it really eats up any of the data you have. It eats up a lot of that when you're making a call. She still has, she's got the Dito we get for a whole month, and that works. And it works really good on the messaging. It gives you lots of numbers, but it still eats it up it'll eat it all up before a month is over. We got the plan. Well, we buy the plan every month. I buy a whole month full of the Dito. That way, if I leave the house and I'm outside, as soon as I get away from the house just a little bit, not too far at all, I lose the signal from the Wi-Fi. And of course, we turn it off at night. They pretty much like to lounge on the couch, and we shut that dang thing off. You don't need to be getting blasted with that stuff all the time. But that way the Dito jumps in and takes over, which is pretty good. And it's not expensive for a whole month, and I've never used it all up yet. 199 pesos gets you covered. They got a little thing on the phone where I can just pay it. I can just transfer the money right over to them and pay it. So it's really easy to do. I know it's a Chinese company, but I like it. It seems to work everywhere too. So the Dito it's a pretty good thing for us, the way we use the phones. I will be going to a laptop here soon. I wish they'd put, if you got a laptop, I wish they'd have it so you could put a SIM card in it so you could use it as a phone. That would be really cool. I've never seen one. I've been looking to see. They don't really put anything down, so if it's not there, if it doesn't say it in the description, it's they don't have it. But everybody I talked to said they don't have it. But they're working there, and they're going to have to come out over here too on the take this out. And there's another little thing right there, but it's plugged going to the road. So hopefully they'll get this fixed. We still can't use the downstairs bathroom at all. Toilet's okay. They got the toilet one fixed. So if the kids got a wee-wee, they can use the toilet, but we can't use the sink or the shower yet. And the kids like to, now that we got some water pressure today, they like taking the hot shower. They're like me. Faye will go up there and use that bathroom, and she won't put the hot water on. She puts the cold water on. But it's what you get used to. That's what that's all about. It's just what you're used to. But the kids, they're like me, and I like it hot. I got it set at 40 Celsius, and then I can turn it on all the way hot. That seems to do it. It'll go all the way up to 58, and at 58 Celsius, you're not sticking your hand in there. It just gets a little too hot. I'm going to take the shower head off today. I just changed the filter outside. I'm going to take the shower head off today and put it in a plastic bag of vinegar. Just the white vinegar we get here. It's real cheap. And clean that out so that we get a little more pressure. Because the water here is funky, guys. The shower heads they just get full of crap real quick. I actually had to take the strainers out because they would clog up, within a couple days. So now the shower head's taking a beating. So I'll just put it in there. I'm going to put it inside the vinegar bag and clear that out. That works really good if you guys ever have any problems. You just take care of it. Our ant problem with the borax, it's down to where there's only maybe 20 or 30 ants sucking that stuff up. They're still, they cleaned the wall off completely already. You can't even tell I put it there. And so those are going. So these are good little tips to know when you come here. And you're just going to have to do it. The water here, it's not Western. It's not Western land. So you got to know that, what they do to the water here. At least they don't put fluoride in it. I'm really happy about that. But we don't drink it. We get distilled water, Bonus brand distilled water. We drink. I have a reverse osmosis under the sink, and it doesn't have a tank because a tank would be too big for under there. So what I did is I got a tankless one, and when we want to use it, we just turn it on. We turn it on, fill up whatever jugs, like for the guys' coffee and all that. I told my wife I don't want any water put in any tea kettle at all, or even in a pot, because it just sticks to the bottom of the pot, and so that there's no way. So I want that water, anything that goes in our utensils, filtered. And I do have the big filter outside. I've got a 5 micron in there, and that's hey, I'm changing that thing once a month, guys, because that'll knock the pressure down too, because it gets so full of crap. So I would recommend that you put filters on any water you have, just for the shower, because your largest organ of your body is your skin, and you're drinking that stuff in just like if you drank it in your mouth. It's not good. But they don't load it up with chlorine, no fluoride that I know of, and which to me is a good thing. All through my life, when I was very young, I didn't know any better. I drank tap water. But as soon as I got older and got on my own, it was distilled water and reverse osmosis water. Every place I've ever lived, I've had a reverse osmosis under the sink. At one place I lived, I had a whole house filtering system, even for the bath water and everything. So that was a really nice system, and that way your bath, if you wanted to take a drink while you were taking a shower, you could do it. And the pipes there, shower heads never clogged. That was just really good water. Plus the soap went forever. It just lathered up. And you just put a little bit on your finger, and you could just a drip on your finger, and you could wash your hair with the shampoo. That's how good that water was there. It really took all the crap out, minerals and stuff. Here, the water's pretty hard. There's some soaps that won't lather up. We like the sulfur soap, to get it clean. Like if the kids get a cut or scrap, we take them immediately in the bathroom, and I'll wash it down with sulfur soap. I don't want them getting any worms or anything like that, which you've seen kids that get it. They get cut and scratched, and they'll pick up like a worm under the skin. So just be wary of it. Us being foreigners that aren't brought up in this, we'll get hit harder than they will. I have had amoeba already, dengue, and this stuff is, you want to do your best to keep from it. It's like when I put those yellow bulbs, they're a lot brighter, and the bugs just don't come around. I put those in yesterday, and they're nice and bright. And now I'm gonna go ahead and order more, and I'm gonna have some on reserve in case these burn out. I really like those lights. They're 15 watts. They're brighter. I'll probably go with the 9 watts for upstairs, so it's not too bright. But our yellow bulbs upstairs, if you look at them, the yellow on the globe faded so badly that it's not really yellow anymore. So I'll change them out and get the ones with the emitters that are going to take care of it. But things are getting fixed up. Things here in this country, it's just like the U.S. big, like they said in World War II, that the sleeping giant moves slowly, but once you awaken it. And here too, these guys that are coming over here doing the work on the plumbing, just super guys. They're covering it. I really can't fault any of these workmen here. We know a bunch of them. There's new ones coming in, and I'm just running into some super nice people. The ones that can speak English, I can sit and chit chat with, and most of them have some English. They understand. A lot of them will understand, but they don't want to speak it, because they're embarrassed. But hey, they should hear me with my Tagalog. So don't be embarrassed. That's what I say. But good folks, just really good folks. Good workers. I'll tell you what. If I'd had a crew like this when I was in the States, I could have got a lot more done. I had good crews until I moved to California, and then I got guys that were just slower than dirt. And lazy, come without their tools they needed. I was one, I used to do an inspection every morning. If they had their tools, they worked. If they didn't have their tools, and were missing some, I'd try to move them around with what they had so they could stay working, but if I couldn't do that, I sent them home. Go home. I don't need you. And even had to pay them because they showed up, you have to pay them for 4 hours, but I wasn't going to have 8 hours, paying somebody 8 hours and nothing. And they came 3 strikes, you're out. They came 3 times without their tools on any job I had, or any time they worked with me. I just never had them back. Just didn't do it. I can't have that. That affects my bonus. And what I did when I worked, when I would get bonuses, I always split 50% of my bonus with the guys. If I got a $20,000 bonus, 10,000 of it went to the guys. I'd go out and buy DeWalt complete tool sets with the circular saw and bunch of stuff. And I used to use a circular saw for cutting EMT guys. You just put that metal blade on there, and when you got a bunch of pipes you have to cut, like going into a panel, I just used the saw and then reamed it real good. And I would buy guys tool sets like that, and then I would throw a huge party somewhere. We'd have a real big party for everybody and get a caterer to come in and cook pig and fish and steaks and burgers and hot dogs and stuff, and they could bring their whole family. Now I didn't bring everybody to those parties. The guys who did a good job is who I split the bonus with. Sometimes, the one job I had, we started out with 250 guys, and I was so happy to get rid of a bunch of them because they were lazy. They just weren't they just weren't top guys, and they would be the first ones to go. But that's what you had there. When I was in California, I was shocked. I was shocked at the workmen there. And the funny thing was, some of the best guys I had were Mexican dudes. Now, they were legal. Everybody who worked for the one big company I worked for, they had to have all their papers, Social Security card and all that. That guy would not let them work if they were illegal. But I'll tell you the truth, a lot of those guys were really good. They went to work. They made no bones. They didn't take too long of breaks. They didn't do anything. And it's easy when they need something from me. Hey, I got to do this or this today. Can I? Sure, you bet. You come and do a real good job for me and make me a bunch of money. I'm gonna bend over backwards to treat you good. That was my thing. But these guys here, if I'd had a cruise like this, it's just amazing. It seems like these places go slow, but if you see how they're doing everything, they carry the buckets, 5-gallon buckets of mixed concrete up. The scaffolding that they use, they don't have the equipment like the States does, but they get her done. And right now, there's just so many places going on, they move around. They'll go from one house to another. So that kind of slows things up, and you can't fault them for that. You just can't fault these guys. Look at these fellows over here. They're going to do the footers. They don't do any kind of compaction thing here, which that's just the way it is. Maybe they don't need to. These places, if you look at a lot of the Demeterland homes that have been up for a while, you don't see any cracks in these houses. And I've seen some houses that got big cracks in them, brand new houses, huge cracks. And you don't see that here. You don't see any big cracks, troubles with anything. So, but we're going to get them down the road here. We're going to get them to do some more stuff to the house. I'd like to raise that garden bed right at the front of the house up a little bit. I definitely want to get a roof over the place, and I'd like to close in that. Right now we got to cover the washing machine up with unplug it and cover it with the tarp, and as soon as we're done with it. So I'd like to have a roof over that, and I'd like to have a better place to hang the clothes in the back somehow. I was thinking of making some kind of a hanging rack that I can push up out of the way, when we're not using it. But I hung the clothes out. It gets sun all day back there, and the clothes dry really quick. And I hate having all the clothes on a rack in front of the house. It makes me feel like I'm a hillbilly. I don't really like that. But that's what we got to do. My wife bought a good standing rack. What I hung the clothes on yesterday, but you can't get through. When that thing's unfolded, it's like an X when you unfold it, and it's got a little plastic separator so the wind doesn't blow the clothes all over, but you can't get through there. It's a real pain in the butt. So we'll get it though. We'll get something figured out. It's all moving kind of slow. We'll be doing stuff early next year, but right now we got just like everyone else, we got Christmas to get through. My sweetie wants a mountain bike, and we need to get Maddie a good bike. We did settle on the Battle brand bikes. I actually got to see one when we were out walking. It had the Battle thing right on it, and nobody was there. I couldn't talk to the owner or anything, but I was looking at the bike, and it was a real big one. It would have fit me. They had the seat way down though, and the thing looked extreme quality. It was a nice one. It was a red Battle. I forget the C9. I forget the nomenclature they had on the model, but it was like it's kind of like a street and trail. It was half a mountain bike, half of a road bike, and it was a good looking bike. The welds on it were absolutely fantastic. All the parts were top of the line, like Shimano shifter and all that. My bike I'd like to put on, if I can find somebody, I'd like to put on the internal gearing in the hub. I would like to down the road get a bike, one of them that has a belt drive. I love the belts. I had them on the Harleys and the Buell, and guys say, oh, those are no good and all blah blah blah. Well, I seen Eric Buell doing a test, and he was doing it on the Ulysses like what I had, and they were throwing buckets of rocks and mud right into the back sprocket, and that belt was just taking it. And then they did a test. You could probably find it on YouTube somewhere. And then they did a test where they did the same thing with the chain, and the chain failed immediately. It failed immediately. And so those belts, there's something to them. They have to put a spring pressure thing on them. That was on my Buell and all that, and worked really good. I had the Dyna. That was souped up with a blower and supercharger, and I had to get a different belt. I think it was Graves or something. I can't remember the name of the company, but I had to get a longer one because I had extended the swing arm on that bike by 4 inches, so I had to get a longer one, and that helped out. One thing I don't know why they don't do it on a bike. When you got a chain, you have to leave so much play in it, because as the tire moves up and down, it changes the angle, so your chain can get tightened as it moves up and down. I don't understand why they can't come from here with a gear and go right to the pivot point here, and then put your sprocket on that, and then when your wheel moves up and down, you're not going to have trouble with the chain doing that. I don't know why somebody hasn't thought of that already. To me, that would seem like a pretty good idea to help with these chains. I hate chains. I get out here and oil this one regular, but I just cleaned this thing up not too long ago, and if you look at the wheel, it's all full of that chain oil and all that garbage. I guess that'll keep it from rusting, but I just don't like the dirty machine. Look how dirty the spring got already. Now the chain slacked up just a little bit from where I had it. It's not bad though. It's still pretty good. But this DID chain is a much more robust chain than the stock one, and I got that nice big sprocket. That is something, guys. If you get one of these bikes, do it. When we were walking, I saw a really cool motorcycle shop, full service, and I stopped in and talked to the girl, and she was very knowledgeable. And I asked her about the tire for the back of the YTX, a bigger one, and she went right over and grabbed one. So, and it wasn't expensive. It was only, I think, 1,200 peso, and they'll put it on for you. So that's probably where I'll be going to get the bigger back tire. I still got to get the springs. I asked her about the springs. She said I would have to talk to her husband when he come back in. He does that, and she didn't know. She does tires, batteries, maintenance stuff. So she didn't know if they could do that or not. She'd never seen them do it yet, but she said come back in tomorrow when her husband's there. So I'm going to probably stop up there and see if he can fix me up. At least get them for me. I can change them. I was thinking of putting a spacer in there, but this thing bottoms out. The front end bottoms out every ride when I'm riding by myself. Every single ride, it goes straight to the bottom and bangs. It bangs pretty good, and that's not going to hold up. You know, I was thinking a spacer might help, and a little bit thicker oil. Drain that oil out, put a thicker oil in. I don't know how big the hole is in the bottom that lets the oil through. It must be pretty big. Either that or the oil's too thin. I haven't even taken the top off and looked yet. But you know, we can get this. I don't know how this is. Usually it's a cap you can pull off and get the spring out right on the bike on most bikes I've had, but this looks a little bit different, and I'm not into doing it yet until I have all the stuff I need. But I'll be getting that done before you know it. It definitely needs it. And we decided I wanted to get that like trailer. The motorcycle fits inside. And then my wife and I were talking about it, and we're thinking we're going to wind up going with a tricycle for this machine, just because I don't want to get into an area I can't get out of. The turning radius on them is horrible, where a tricycle can turn around in its own footprint. They don't put the tricycle wheel forward on these bikes, so what you do when you go to turn, these guys go to turn around, they're basically the tricycle wheel right there doesn't move. It just pivots, so they can really turn around in a tight spot. So we're going to need to you know, get a tricycle, because if we get into some of these places and the park and all that, and we'll just have to learn the roads. When I was talking to the guys down there, I asked him about a tricycle, even if it's private, and he's no tricycles. He doesn't care if it's private or not. They will give you a ticket, and he said he can't believe they give 3-4 tickets a day out up there for people doing that. So we got to watch, but I'll just have to learn the routes. You know, follow the tricycle drivers. They seem to get around pretty quick. You go for a ride on a tricycle and you'll learn the routes real quick where you have to go, and it's not really that much out of the way. So I'll learn that. But having a tricycle would be a lot easier to get in and out, and you know, I want to get one that has a windshield. You know, I want it covered up good for the rain. Our last tricycle we had, we came out of Mindoro. We come out of the town of Bongabong, and when we got up to Califan to get on the boat, all the way from Bongabong to Califan, we got soaked. I mean, I was soaked right down to my underwear. They were pretty dry. We had buttoned up the sidecar, but me, I got soaked. I had plastic up. It didn't matter. It fogged up so bad I had to leave a gap in it. So I want to get a regular glass windshield. And this guy down the road here that's doing tricycles, I stopped up and looked. The owner wasn't there, but I stopped and looked at their tricycles. The welds are beautiful. They make stainless ones, or he'll make you a metal one, whatever you want. And the guy I was talking to, one of the fabricators, you know, I said, hey, my last tricycle, they used 1/2-inch EMT on the roof for the tricycle. Can I get 3? Yes, you get whatever you want. We'll sit down with you and you can design what you want. I showed him the pictures of a tricycle I took a picture of that was way high up off the ground, and yep, we make that one. You know, they'll make that one. And I want to also tie in the roof over me and the roof over the tricycle. I want to tie that with a window in between, the space, the gap that goes from my roof to the tricycle roof, and I want to make it higher so I could sit into it. The last guy who made my tricycle, it was ridiculous, because instead of giving it the measurement I gave him off the seat, he raised the thing up a foot over my head, and that's why it broke right away. I had to go and get in there and cut stuff off and lower it down. But even the passenger compartment was too high. I could sit in that tricycle. Most tricycle guys, you're not going to fit in. If you're much over 6 feet, you're not going to fit in them. There's just no room. So that's why I had mine sitting up, and I want a more upright chair on it. And I'd like to have a forward and rearward facing chair for the kids, and I want doors on it. You know, so I was going through this with the fabricator guy, and we can do all that. He even pulled out some pictures, and I was really impressed with the welds, how they were welding. There were guys welding right there, and he said they hire welders, and it was quite a long time before they were allowed to weld. He said they would give them practice stuff all the time, until they got it, because he said that his boss wants only top quality stuff going out, and for me, I'll pay whatever they ask for it. You know, I'll get the bike and